On board a yacht surrounded by trusted friends with the clear blue ocean between her and prying eyes, it should have been a welcome break from reality for the embattled Princess of Wales. But unearthed photos of Princess Diana on board a yacht in Italy with Kirill, Prince of Preslav, and the designer Valentino taken in 1990, 2 years before her separation from Prince Charles, show the late royal looking pensive and unsure. The candid snap, posted to Instagram yesterday by Valentino co-founder Giancarlo Giametti, shows the late royal with wet hair holding a drink, in a colorful print bikini with a purple shirt tied at her waist. Believed to have been taken aboard the fashion house's private TM Blue One yacht in September 1990, 2 years before her separation from Prince Charles. The princess is sandwiched between Prince Kirill, also known as Kirill of Saxe-Coburg, and the Italian designer in the photograph. By the time it was taken, the princess and her husband had effectively been living separate lives for around 4 years, with Prince Charles resuming his relationship with his former girlfriend Camilla Parker Bowles in 1987. Meanwhile, the princess had been engaging in a 2-year affair with household cavalry officer James Hewitt, who she would later famously tell the world she adored, as well as a relationship with her bodyguard Barry Manicky, whose death in 1987 she described as the biggest blow of my life. By the time the photos were taken in the summer of 1990, Diana's relationship with Hewitt was over after he was posted to Germany, a huge blow to Diana, who had already contended with her marriage falling apart, a suicide attempt while pregnant with Prince William, bulimia and post-natal depression, events recently depicted in vivid detail in Series 4 of The Crown. In the background is Stromboli, a small island in the Tyrrhenian Sea off the north coast of Sicily containing Mount Stromboli, one of the 3 active volcanoes in Italy. Giancarlo, who co-founded the fashion house with Valentino Garavani, also shared another photo of the two of them greeting the princess at a formal event. It's not known when it was taken. Diana, wearing a chic white blazer with puff sleeves and a turquoise trim with a matching skirt and clutch, grinned as she engaged with the two men. Giancarlo captioned the images, and here 2 moments of friendship with her. Princess Diana. In September he shared another image of the late princess on board the yacht, believed to have been taken on the same trip. This one also featured Prince Kirill's then-wife, Rosario Saxe-Coburg, a former model and muse for the fashion designer Valentino. Kirill, the second son of Simeon Saxe-Coburg, Gotha, Prime Minister of Bulgaria from 2001 to 2005, and Margarita Saxe-Coburg, Gotha, married Maria del Rosario Nadal Fuster de Puigdorf, who goes by Rosario Nadal, in September 1989. The couple had 3 children together, Princess Mafalda, Cecilia, Princess Olympia and Prince Tassilo, but are believed to have separated in October 2009. Series 4 of The Crown ends in 1990, around the time the photo of Diana on board Valentino's yacht was taken. The show, which has been criticized for wildly bending historical facts, has not stuck to a strict timeline, and shows Prince Charles telling the Queen the marriage is over at Christmas in 1990, although in reality then did not separate until 2 years later in 1992. It also depicts the prince having an affair with Camilla Parker Bowles throughout their marriage, even sleeping with her the night before his wedding to Diana, when in reality they split and did not become romantically involved again until 1987. However, the show does depict events Diana battled with throughout the 80s that are true to life, even if the timeline is skewed. Princess Diana's bulimia. Royal experts have criticized graphic scenes in The Crown which portray Princess Diana's struggle with bulimia. In one distressing sequence, Emma Corrin's Diana is shown putting her fingers down her throat to be sick following a heated argument with Prince Charles. In another, she is seen gorging on desserts before again forcing herself to be sick in a toilet in the palace. Some of the scenes are so graphic that viewers are given an on-screen warning at the beginning of the 3 episodes where her bulimia is depicted. Royal biographers have asked whether The Crown could have treated the subject with greater sensitivity. Writer Ingrid Seward told the Daily Mail, "It was a significant thing in her young life, so I think it needed to be depicted in some way. It would have been absolutely fine having her bending over the loo, but I don't think you need quite such detail. I think it perhaps was a bit over-embellished." The Queen's ex-press secretary Dickie Arbiter said the drama could not ignore Diana's bulimia but added that it was important for viewers to remember that the script is fiction, the words are fiction and some of the actions are fiction. In 1991 Diana told biographer Andrew Morton, "The bulimia started the week after we got engaged. My husband put his hand on my waistline and said something like, 'Oh, a bit chubby here, aren't we? And that triggered off something in me. I remember the first time I made myself sick, I was so thrilled. Emma Corrin has previously told how the graphic portrayals of Diana's bulimia were written into the script at her request. I felt that if we were trying to depict bulimia in an honest way, we had to actually show it, otherwise it's a disservice to anyone who has been through that, she told the Radio Times. Prince Charles' affair with Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall, has faced a tirade of hate comments from social media trolls after the Crown falsely suggested she had an affair with Prince Charles throughout his marriage to Diana. Online comments by viewers of the program reveal that many have accepted the fake storylines as historical fact, including the incorrect assertion that Charles and Camilla conducted an affair throughout the prince's entire relationship with Diana. In reality, Charles had practically no contact with Camilla for 5 years after his marriage in 1981. Many of the Crown's audience have also been fooled by the depiction of Charles and Camilla's close friendship on Twitter. One expressed shock that Charles and Camilla had enjoyed a fully fledged affair from the start of Charles and Diana's relationship. In fact, Charles and Camilla's affair resumed in 1986, by which time the marriage had, as the prince himself famously put it in a TV documentary, irretrievably broken down. Royal experts said the portrayal of Charles and Camilla was yet another example of the Netflix series failing to portray the royal family truthfully. Author Sally Bedell-Smith, who has written biographies of the Queen, Charles, and Diana, said, "I am very sad to say that I have heard it over and over again that people take the Crown at face value and they believe everything they see in the series, and that includes Charles and Camilla. The notion in the program that he entered into his marriage cynically with a view to continuing with Camilla and putting his new wife on the side is exceedingly dishonest and damaging. It is just simply not true." Ingrid Seward, editor-in-chief of Majesty magazine, said, "The Crown is a very one-sided portrayal, which is really the Diana version. The sad thing for people viewing it is that they are going to take it as the correct storyline, which it isn't at all." Princess Diana and Prince Charles' arguments. Despite initially enjoying seeing his wife prove such a success down under, in the drama Charles becomes resentful, especially after crowds boo when he turns up at engagements alone. In one scene, he arrives at a polo match and falls off his horse, prompting laughter from the spectators. At a dinner, guests laugh at Diana's wry reaction to his comment about how lucky he is to have her as a wife, but fail to raise a smile when he cracks a joke himself. The pair have an argument back at their hotel, with Charles childishly declaring, "I don't deserve this, this is supposed to be my tour as Prince of Wales to shore up one of the key countries in the Commonwealth at a very delicate time politically. Thanks to you people are laughing at me, booing in my face." Things become decidedly frosty between the pair again, and it takes its toll on Diana, who is seen succumbing to her eating disorder once again. She even pays a visit to the Queen on their return, telling her she doesn't know who to turn to anymore and she's struggling. When the monarch questions why so, after such a successful tour, Diana replies, "I don't consider it a triumph if after it my husband and I are wretchedly unhappy." In another episode, Diana and Prince Charles can be seen arguing about her solo trip to New York, with the Prince of Wales telling her, "Every time we do talk it ends in an argument, I say silence is preferable." He calls her plans to travel to New York alone an ugly piece of self-advancement. Prince Charles slams her as barely in a fit state psychologically to see the hairdresser, let alone represent the Crown. Later, they come together for a meeting alongside their advisors, with Prince Charles' team telling Diana the schedule appeared challenging, with several appointments each day. And when her team attempt to assure that she is an exemplar of health, Charles' team point to her mental health. They go on to criticize whether she will be able to cope with what is required of her, as well as being away from her children for an extended period. The late princess was left petrified of traveling, and breaks down over her fears about the failure of a trip, saying, "I'm in hell. He hates me and just wants me to fail. He tells everyone I'm mad. They treat me like I'm mad. And I'm starting to feel mad. Why did I agree to this trip? I'm going to fall flat on my face." Yet Diana is met with adoring cheering crowds at the airport, with people lining the streets to applaud the princess wherever she goes. Her trip, which lasts 3 days, includes a visit to the Henry Street Settlement, a not-for-profit social service agency in the Lower East Side neighborhood of Manhattan, and a charity gala at the Brooklyn Academy of Music. She takes the highly unusual step of hugging a young boy with AIDS while visiting a hospital in Harlem. Meanwhile, the press praise her as reaching new heights without her husband Prince Charles. When they are united after her trip, Prince Charles tells her that her capacity for self-delusion never ceases to amaze me. He continues, "We are all glad you are back where you belong without too much damage being done." He tells her she is selfish and she spent the trip grandstanding. Prince Charles goes on to bellow at Princess Diana that he cares about Camilla and accuses her of hurting her, saying, "If you hurt her, you hurt me. Camilla is who I want. That is who I want. That is who my priority is." After shouting into the royal's face, Prince Charles tells her, "If you have a complaint about this marriage, I suggest you take it up with the people who arranged it." Elsewhere, in episode 9, the drama suggests Prince Charles was outraged when Princess Diana took to the stage and did a special dance for him in front of the audience at the Royal Opera House in March 1981. At the start of the episode, Princess Diana is seen surprising Prince Charles at his 37th birthday gala by joining Wayne Sleep on stage for a special performance at the Royal Opera House in 1985. But in the chauffeur-driven car on the way back to Kensington Palace, the Prince of Wales says, "What were you thinking? That grotesque, mortifying display had nothing to do with me or my happiness." 8 minutes they were on their feet, cheering you. Tomorrow the newspapers will be about nothing other than you. Since 2017 Kirill, now 56, has been in a relationship with British businesswoman and art historian Catherine Butler, 53. He is the godfather of Prince Aristides, Stavros of Greece and Denmark, son of Pavlos, Crown Prince of Greece. Giancarlo previously shared another image from the trip with Diana in 1990 and July 2014, showing the princess chatting to Rosario and a young boy. Diana was a known yachting enthusiast, reportedly because it was one of the few places she felt able to unwind in private. She enjoyed her final holiday with Dodi Fayed on a boat named Cujo in July 1997, just weeks before their deaths in a Paris car crash on August 31 the same year. Diana was famously photographed kissing Dodi on the vessel's deck and sunbathing on his father's yacht's diving board that same summer. The boat was used by Dodi as the venue for lavish parties in the south of France, mainly in Saint-Tropez. Earlier this year the yacht was sold for £171,000, with some observers telling the Sunday Express that the bid was surprisingly low, sparking fears that the memory of Diana was fading. Princess Diana was photographed alongside Bulgarian-born Kirill, Prince of Preslav, on the 1990 yacht trip. But who is the dashing European royal? Born in 1964, Kirill is the second son of King Simeon II, also known as Simeon Saxe-Coburg-Gotha, who had served as the last reigning Tsar of Bulgaria from 1943 to 1946, before later serving as Prime Minister of Bulgaria from 2001 to 2005. Much like today's generation of young European royals, Kirill led a jet-set life and studied at Princeton University, New Jersey, graduating in 1986 with a Bachelor of Arts in Physics. He went on to specialize in corporate finance and settled in London where he worked for GLG Partners, the asset management branch of Lehman Brothers. It is thought he also spent time in New York. In September 1989, Kirill married Maria del Rosario Nadal Fuster de Puigdorf, also known as Rosario Nadal, the daughter of Miguel Nadal Pestad, a Balearic Islands industrialist. The couple married at St. Anne's Chapel, Almudena Palace, Palma de Mallorca, in a ceremony attended by King Juan Carlos and Queen Sofia of Spain and their children, including Felipe, who is now on the Spanish throne. Rosario, a model-turned-art consultant, was a Valentino muse and is likely the reason why she and her husband found herself on board the yacht with Princess Diana that summer. Kirill and Rosario had 3 children, Mafalda, Cecilia, now 26, Olympia, 25, and Tassilo, 18, before separating in 2009. Eldest daughter Mafalda is a singer, songwriter based in the UK who goes by the stage name Mafalda. Kirill is now dating British businesswoman and art historian Catherine Butler, a former University of Edinburgh professor and daughter of British diplomat Sir Michael Butler. One of the Princess Diana £10 banknotes created by street artist Banksy sold for £3,400 at auction this week. The D-face tenor was originally created in 2004 by the artist who produced thousands of the notes. Diana's face was edited onto the front where the Queen's would normally be, while the usual words promising to pay the bearer at the top of the note were replaced by, "I promise to pay the bearer on demand the ultimate price." On the back of the note, the date, which is usually found near the bottom of the image of Charles Darwin, has been replaced by the words, "Trust no one." A wad of the fake banknotes were thrown into a crowd at the Notting Hill Carnival in 2004. The lot described the banknote as being in excellent condition. No knocks, tears, or creases to the sheet. This work has been stored flat and never been framed. Head of Department Urban and Contemporary Art at Tate Ward Danny Herbert said, "Banks's D-Face tenor, 2004 is one of his most iconic works." It was produced 7 years after the death of the princess, and an example was donated to the British Museum in 2019 to go into their permanent collection. Diana is forever in our hearts, and the return of The Crown on Netflix recently reminds us what a huge character she was in and out of the royal family. Emma Corrin's performance has received critical acclaim for her portrayal of Princess Diana.